Welcome, sports fans, to the third Shear Sports Cuts podcast. I am your host, Adam Shear. On the cutting board today, we will be discussing the NBA playoffs, my Stanley Cup prediction, and then I will also be discussing my Indy 500 prediction. So we're going to begin by talking about the NBA playoffs. And the first thing I want to talk about as far as the playoffs go was that Lakers-Suns game last night, and what a thrilling game that was. The game came down to basically Jason Richardson hitting a bank-in three that appeared to send the game into overtime with only 3 seconds left. But then you look at the Laker bench and you see Kobe Bryant and you're like, oh yeah, he's going to hit the shot. This game's over regardless. However, Kobe airballs the game-winning three. Maybe shot it a little bit too early in the shot clock. You know, he kind of shot it as soon as he caught the ball. But Ron Artest comes out of nowhere, grabs the ball, puts it in, Lakers win. And that truly is what NBA playoff basketball is all about. You have an exciting game, a game that's very close, decided at the last second, and just something that everyone can enjoy, except for maybe the Phoenix Suns fans in this case. But it was a very exciting game. But here's the key to when you win a game like that, is it's very demoralizing to the other team. Losing in that fashion can just totally kill your momentum. It makes you feel like, man, we were that close, and it just wasn't enough. So at this point, I really feel like the Lakers have the series in hand. I think they can go into Phoenix and win that last game, close it out, and get ready for the finals, where they'll play maybe Orlando at this point, who's coming on kind of strong in that Boston series. But we'll see. But there are a couple little other things I want to dab into as far as that playoff game went last night between the Lakers and the Suns. The first thing I want to talk about is Amari Stoudemire really exploded in Game 3 and 4, but however, he struggled again. There's now someone in his company who's doing the same thing, not reading his defensive assignments well, letting guys blow by him, and that's Paul Gasol. So both of these teams now have a player who's acting a little soft. Now, Gasol put up good stats last night. He had over 20 points. He had 9 rebounds. However, there were just times when Amari could really take it past him aggressively, and Gasol wasn't doing anything about it. He was making it look too easy. He was standing there like a stiff, and Stoudemire could just take one step, put it up, 2 points on the board for the Suns. They should have been hitting that a lot more. Now, it was working well for them. You got to spread your offense a little bit. Amari really took advantage of that. It'll be interesting to see. I believe this Gasol-Stoudemire matchup will decide how Game 6 is going to go. But after seeing how that game went last night, I just think that the Lakers now have all the momentum after winning such a close game. In that game, though, also last night, had Kobe being Kobe, there was one point where he was clearly fouled by Louis Amundsen, and he pulled up for a jumper. He got smacked across the arm, yet he still finished the shot. The foul wasn't called, but there's just nothing you can do to stop this guy, and that's truly one point in the game where he proved that he's going to score. There's nothing you can do. He put up great numbers. He had 9 assists, 11 boards. So Kobe's being Kobe right now. And when he's acting like that and he's not struggling like he was at the end of the season for the Lakers, it just doesn't seem feasible that the Phoenix Suns have any chance, even with their bench playing well. Their bench didn't play as well, I guess I should say, last night, but their bench is playing well enough. So when it comes down to it, I just see that LA is going to win this final game. Now, another series that could come to an end tonight would be the Boston-Orlando series. Now, for those of you who don't know, this game will take place at 8:30 on ESPN. The game is in Boston, and they will have the chance to close out the series at home with a 3-2 lead. Now they have a lot to overcome, though, because at this point, it seems like who will play the bigs for the Celtics? Okay, they had Kendrick Perkins, who was going to be suspended, but now he had one of his technical fouls revoked, so he's going to be playing tonight. Here's the thing with him, though, is now he becomes like a ticking time bomb. He has the ability, to stop Dwight Howard and keep him in check, but as soon as Howard might get one, superstar call or whatnot, Kendrick Perkins can be pulled from not only that game, but possibly the deciding Game 7, which would be in Orlando. He's got to keep his mind in check because he is on a short leash now, and if he doesn't, it's going to be a huge advantage for the Magic. The second big man issue that the Celtics would have would be with Rasheed Wallace. Now, he'll probably be a game-time decision tonight. He had his back issues or whatnot. So we'll have to see how well he'll actually be able to play. Rasheed's not known as really a banger from that power forward standpoint. He's more of the stretch type four where he goes out and hits jump shots. So really it'd be almost a disadvantage to have him and Kevin Garnett as your two starting big men. Then you lose Glenn Davis possibly for tonight. How funny was it when he got that concussion, by the way? I really felt bad for the guy, but the guy needs to win an Oscar for Best Actor after his really sold performance of how well he was affected by that concussion. Now, he has the chance to play. Doc Rivers is optimistic, apparently, about Glenn playing tonight. But even if he goes, how well will he do? Coming back from something like a concussion that quick really can mess with your head. It can make you feel a little more hesitant about what you're doing. You run the risk of, man, should I really go after that rebound, or am I going to get bumped in the head and get knocked out again? So even if Glenn plays, it'll be interesting to see how hesitant he is about actually being a post presence in such a critical role in the playoffs. So that really leaves, if neither Rasheed Wallace or Glenn Davis is going to play tonight, and Kendrick Perkins gets that foul, that leaves you Sheldon Williams, whose name is right in the dictionary next to the word joke. Okay, not really. I'm obviously just making a Sheldon Williams here. But more seriously, he was drafted 5th overall in 2006 for his defense, and the guy has just not been a presence like he was supposed to, like he was in the ACC, and that hasn't transitioned to the NBA. He does not have the athleticism to guard a Brandon Bass, who's a good athletic big underneath the basket, or Rashard Lewis, who's a good athletic big away from the basket. At this point, Sheldon Williams just kind of seems like a walking 6 fouls per game. So if he's the only big left off the bench for the Celtics tonight, Orlando could really capitalize on this and come back to win the series against Boston, just like the Philadelphia Flyers did to the Boston Bruins to find themselves to the path to the Stanley Cup.